So that's kind of like a reinforcing of what we saw last game, right? Where he really likes to play super passive for really nice angles, and then he hits hard when he's given the chance to. So doesn't like to be aim reliant. He hits hard, and then if he needs to be aim reliant after he's hit hard, he's happy to do that. Alright, so this is going to be him looking for angles. Again, not pressing the issue. Playing passive, looking to play from positions of power. He doesn't want to take that aim fight there. He's going to be playing passive. Like, same thing, right? Like, this is not W keying like Tayson, right? This is watching someone play really smart. This is watching someone play play for peaks properly, play for really nice angles. This is really good to watch. So he doesn't necessarily W key. He's more sort of taking his time and making sure he gets the right sorts of shots off. You can't lie, he gets a lot of walls. He does get a lot of walls, and ping does have a lot of sway in solos. I'm not going to deny that. But I think it's also really important to note, if he wasn't a low ping player, I'm not even sure if he is a low ping player, but if he didn't get a lot of walls, he would still be successful, because it's not his ping that allows him to play like that. Playing smart, playing like just a kind of boring play style where you look for a good bit of damage first, and then you take exactly what Azzy just said, the Jinx play style. Bore them to death. Wait until they make a mistake. You sit and you wait for them to make a mistake. That's the thing that makes Jinx so good. He's just so patient. He waits for you to make a mistake and then jumps on you. He's 20 to 30 ping, so pretty low. There'll be quite a few players in EU who are lower than him, but that's low enough to make it so that he can snatch a wall every now and then. So my guess is that he probably wasn't necessarily looking to hardcore W key in this, but it was more so that he picked up a spaz and a P90 and went, I can fight here. I'm confident fighting here. So as long as he's, like, my guess, the thought process is, as long as I'm in isolated scenarios, as long as I'm not going to get hard third-partied, and if I am going to get third-partied, he becomes the bread. So to any one of the, any of the new viewers in here, we're talking about the bread or the meat. If you got a sandwich, you got the bread, and then you got the meat. It's essentially describing a pinch scenario. You got the third partiers, are this bread, and you got yourself, that's this bread. You always want to be a bread. Never let yourself be the meat, okay? So he doesn't look to fight there. Looks to get himself into center zone, or not towards center, but looks to rotate into zone here. He looks to come along and third party this. So again, look at where he's positioning himself. He's trying to make sure that anyone up on this hill here, up on this ridge, again, the idea of the meat versus the bread. The most likely scenario for another person to be third-partying this fight is up here. He's putting himself here, and then the poor green arrow is the meat. Putting some pressure on this guy. He's really good. Tayson's really good at putting pressure on without putting himself in danger. He doesn't just spray at walls with his shit wide open. If he's putting pressure on you, he's always in a relatively safe scenario. It's really, really good. His angles, his movement is really, really good. Blocks himself off really nicely. Look at how safely he takes these fights. It's just, I'll reinforce that all night. He does not try to take aim fights. He does not 50-50. It is beautiful angles. It is hitting hard and then finishing the fight. The issue with not being an aim-reliant player, like a Reap or something like that, is that sometimes your fights can draw out because a lot of people are good at running away these days. So having a bit of both, where your aim is good enough where you can be aim-reliant if you just need to finish the fight, is really good. So having a playstyle like Tayson's, where you are both really good at aiming and therefore can aim fight if you need to, but your default is to be an angles player, to be a sort of safety player. That kind of two-way play is really impressive. And it looks like here he sort of gets himself into a shitty scenario here. What I really like about this though, is the 44 bills. Now, I don't know if you saw that before I pulled it off, but he's still got majority metal. He hasn't wasted his metal, which he won't be able to refarm for no reason. But perfect example of why you've got to look to build with your wood and your brick through mid-game fights. He's got 420 mats left. He hasn't farmed back a single build of metal. He just farmed up, 10 of it just then. There's not enough metal around in any POI as you're entering mid-game or late mid-game. So he's got all the time in the world to search for pads, but instead he just tries to use his own. This is a DJ Classic, looking for other pads to take. Right. Picks up nose cup. Goes there. Now, I would love to see him pick up the medkits. I'd love to see him pick up the medkits, because if he enters a scenario here where he can't take height, or he gets beamed, or for some reason he takes pressure unnecessarily, so he just gets focused by the lobby, and he's running out of mats, it's really, really good to have the medkit there to stall time, essentially play it like a flopper, and then, potentially eke out some more placement points, play backside, and look to play for kills back zone. But instead he's got 3 guns. Now, I'm of the opinion that you essentially never need 3 guns. So that's why I'm saying if you take the medkits, you open more possibilities for yourself. You're not necessarily relying on a more, fight-heavy style of refresh. You can play back and look to play like a more passive style. You open more possibilities up for you, but fine. Immediately his zone pulls. See his focuses shift really nicely there. He's looking for a refresh. As soon as zone pulls, forgets about that guy and immediately looks to get front zone. And this is a Tayson Classic. Immediately gets up and looks for height on the transition of second moving and easily takes it. So, real basic, right? Soon as zone goes, zooms ahead, takes front side, turns around, looks back, takes height. Super simple, super simple. And now from here, it's just a case of put fucking pressure down. Just constant pressure. There's nothing special he'll do here. There's nothing like that that'll make you go, wow, he's done something amazing. His theory's solid. The way he applies it is solid. He's got good aim, got good fundamentals. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Hasn't shot a shotgun once. He drops down now and he goes to finish off the guy. 10 kill win, just like that. Fundamentals are so solid. He just does not miss, he doesn't miss shots. He's constantly putting pressure on people. Good angles. Like, the basics are so well done, man. But what the is this? How's this guy not fucking smacked him in the throat? Where's the fucking dome punch? What's Creed Assad doing, bro? He just need... Bro. What if I just watched? Hello? That man needed to punch Tayson directly in the throat. And he's just gone and gifted him a freebie, bro. And he had a pad. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's gone and given him 500 metal. And 2 peppers and 3... Oh, Creed. Oh, Creed. Creed had 2 pads and 2 peppers, bro, and he's gone and bottled it. Like, seriously, if you get in this scenario, if you get gifted that hard, if you get gifted 3 pads, 2 peppers, max shields, and you've already got a blue pump and a blue AR, dip. Get the fuck out, play dead side, sit in the bush for the rest of the game. And so sometimes this game really does come down to RNG. There's aspects of RNG that do control how this game pans out. But you've also got to give yourself the opportunity to get good RNG. And when he puts himself in these good scenarios, when he finds kills that easily, oh my god. Stays calm, hits all of his edits. Waste mats, is calm about it. 107 to that guy. Far out. Does get the kill in the end. It's just about hitting his shots there, staying calm. Alright, let's see how he plays his in-game here. So he's given, like I said, you want to give yourself as much opportunity to do well as you can, right? So he's given himself the opportunity to play 3 different playstyles here. He's got pads, look to play a pad for height, or you can just pad ahead and play low ground, claim low ground later. You've got peppers, you can look to pepper for height. You've got floppers, you can look to flopper for height. There's so many opportunities here to get a win condition. So he's going to pop another one here for second moving. Now, what I'm expecting to see is the Tayson Classic. He's going to pop the pepper, immediately sprint to front zone, turn around and look for height. That's what I'm expecting. So it pulls back, so he can't really play that sort of style. Now, obviously that style works best if it pulls far or if it pulls, you know, to one specific direction. If it pulls back overall builds, very rarely can you look for that. So now he's got to sort of adjust his game plan. And again, I think one improvement point there that we can see is maybe not necessarily preempting anything. Not, you know, thinking, okay, here's what I'm going to do before it happens. So again, I think him preempting sort of what he was planning to do there sort of ended up him wasting not necessarily crucial seconds of Pepper Pot because he's got so much time. Hey, I said he was going to look for height. It's not necessarily as effective as when it pulls far, but how easy has he made it look? And again, 394 ammo. It's going to be constant pressure. So as soon as second moving, third moving pops, turns around, looks for height. And in a scenario like that, like I said, I don't usually think that's as an effective time. You should always be looking for height. You should always be looking to see if they're fighting, if there's a potential to take it. But that's not usually a time where it's available to take. He's made that look really easy because I think the guys back there were too focused on fighting each other. If you're on height, you never want to try, even if you're fighting, you want to put a little bit more emphasis on looking to get ahead. Alright, but I mean, now, again, we saw it last game as well. When he's on height, it's just constant pressure. He's got enough ammo with where he lands. It's just going to be constant, all-out, spray. There's nothing interesting, nothing amazing about what he does in the rest of this game. It's just going to be constant pressure because he takes it so late. He looks to take it in the transitions of third moving or second moving. Because he does it so late, he generally doesn't actually get directly contested for it. He very rarely has to build fight for it because he's the last one to take it, and therefore it's just about him putting enough pressure down so that he always makes sure he wins, right? If he puts pressure down, it's not necessarily always about the damage that you do to players yourself. It can also be about forcing others to fight. You know what I mean?